Hey, hey, hey. Happy holidays. Come on in. Pull up a chair. Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. And happy holidays. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor in chief. So, welcome aboard. Tonight is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. And this is live stream 866. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And we'll normally take a look at a tabletop game. Every once in a while, I'll do a review live. But for the most part, it's almost always first looks at tabletop games. And tonight will be no different because we are going to dive on in and take a peek at Jackals, Travelers on the War Road from Osprey Games. This is the latest supplement for the Jackals role-playing game. Started to say war game. It's not a war game, it's a role-playing game, Jeff. It's been a long day. Very long day. Anywho, we are going to be taking a look at this. And I got to be honest, I'm really excited to see Osprey Games continue to support Jackals. And I would like to see them supporting more of the role-playing games that they're releasing. And we'll talk about that when we jump on into that first look. But of course, also want to let you know that this is a live stream. So if you are hanging out, feel like taking part in chat, you're more than welcome to. Of course, do want to point out, chat's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat as well. Yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. So far, first out the gate tonight is Kathy Evans, Stray Kismet's with us, Kevin R. Smith, Coco B, and Veteran Grabelox, who I believe it might be a first-time visit for Veteran. So welcome aboard. That is who's in chat with us right now. So if you're not familiar with the way this show works, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you are tuning in to check out Travelers on the War Road, keep in mind, probably be about 35 minutes, maybe 40, before we dive on into that first look. So if you're watching live, kick back, relax, put your feet up, enjoy yourself. I'm sure you've had a long day too. But of course, if you are watching 30 minutes or more after the show ends, there will be timestamps. So if you want to jump past tabletop gaming news, I don't know why you would, because we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. But if you have to be that person, you can easily click on the timestamps to jump ahead to the first look. Of course, depending on the device you happen to be using, those timestamps might be right there in the timeline of the video. So you can do that easily enough. If not, then the time codes are in the show note section. You know what section that is, the more information section below the video. All righty then. Lastly, should also mention when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Dan Wheeler is with us. Welcome aboard. All right. So, as I mentioned, crazy day today, running around, just finished getting everything ready for the show. 3 minutes before, well, actually, I take that back because the stream was about 3 minutes late starting. So I finished up like right when the stream was supposed to start. But at least our garage door is now opening once again, and I was able to leave. I've been trapped here for like 3 days. Couldn't get the garage door open. So, anyway, some discussion about the weather. Yes, terrible weather heading our way. Some people are already getting it out west. People out east, they're going to get theirs too. I got to say that I have heard, at least on our local news as of yesterday, because I didn't watch it today, they were talking about we might see 15 to 20 inches of snow. I don't know. I don't know how those models are working because I got to point out most of the time when the meteorologists on our local news channels in the Chicago area say that we're going to get a lot of snow, we usually get none or very little. And then when they're telling us, oh yeah, well we'll get a light dusting, we get a foot. So yeah, it's funny. We've got all these Doppler radars and all these computer models, and usually the meteorologists are about as accurate as they were back when television first came around. Kind of weird, kind of strange how it works. And again, it's Mother Nature. She's the one calling the shots, not some computer model. All right, let's jump on to the news tonight because arriving in first quarter of next year is Cheese Mat. Well, damn it, I did it again. I've got it sitting right in front of me, and I forgot to mention we're going to take a look at the Funko Advent Calendar featuring The Office. Oh, man, I gotta wake up, Jeff. Wake up. Yes, I was up far earlier than I normally am because the repair guy was supposed to be showing up and then he didn't show up. Yes, yes. Anyway, thankfully, finally got the garage door fixed. All right, anyway. Fine folks over at Funko sent along the Office Funko Advent Calendar. We have been taking a peek to see each of the pocket pops that are contained within, and we're going to take a look to see what the 20th brings us. Of course, once again, this carries an MSRP of $60. It's got 24 pocket pops in it. Right now, Funko does have it for $50. And last I looked, I don't know if it's still in stock, but NBC.com actually had this for $39 and 90 some cents. I don't recall if it was 95 or 99. Coco B says, Jeff, do not jinx it or it'll be a snowpocalypse. Sarah D mentions, welcome to Illinois. Weather reports are made up and the seasons don't matter. Oh yeah, I'm born and raised. So I know exactly what it's like. Although I will point out, when I lived in Arizona and it was ungodly hot for like 3 or 4 months of the year, it got to the point where it's like you didn't even want to walk outside, even though it wasn't as humid as it is here. There were never really seasons. There was like monsoon season where you would think it would rain a bunch, seeing it's called monsoon season. And it was just, oh no, it's just more humid at night. Like, oh, okay. At least we have some sort of seasons in the Chicago area. So it does feel like it's Christmas time, right? It does feel like it's Hanukkah, right? As opposed to, oh, it's 75 degrees out again. All right, so let's see what we have here. Now, yesterday, we took a look at quite a few because we made up for the days that I don't have a show. But we got the Dwight Schrute. All right, come on, autofocus, pick it up. Do this. Let's move that out of the way. Make life easier for the autofocus. There we go. Much better. So once again, I couldn't remember what episode this was from. And it's strange because being a fan of The Office, I can usually figure out which character the pop is, as well as what episode it would be from, like Prison Mike and Golden Face. Oh, I couldn't remember the name of the movie, the fake movie that they did. So this was yesterday. So we have that. And then, you know what? Maybe this is Mose because he's got the beard. Although I thought Mose's beard is a different color. You know, we already had, yeah, see, we've got Mose here. I think there was an episode where Dwight disguises himself as Mose. I don't know. I don't recall. All right. So anyway, so let's take a look to see what the 20th has in store for us. I think there was still. Now I think we've got all the main characters. I think we've got all the main characters so far. So let's see what we've got here. Although we haven't gotten like Jan. All right. So as I mentioned yesterday, I did not really watch like the final season of The Office because in my opinion, it really lost its mojo. Plus, I didn't like how they, treated Ed Helms' character the season before and stuff like that. And they brought in like a couple of new characters. I think this is one of them. I think this is one of those characters from the final season of The Office. I'm guessing. Yeah, because he's got kind of like dyed hair. Because it was like a couple of younger guys that they brought in. And I guess like Aaron dates one of them or something like that. I think that's one of the characters. One of the new guys who I don't know who it is. Saw a few episodes with them. And like I said, I really didn't pay much attention to that last season. So that is our Pocket Pop for today as part of the Office Advent Calendar with the Funko Pops. So tomorrow we're going to take a look at the last 4, since tomorrow will be the last show of 2022. So we will catch up and we'll cheat. We'll jump ahead. So Sarah D says that their brother moved to Arizona a couple Christmases ago. It was 40 and sunny here, and he got a foot of snow. He was not impressed. I will take a guess that your brother must live near Flagstaff, because Phoenix Valley would certainly not get a foot of snow. Flagstaff area up in the mountains and that, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Sarah says that she cheated to check to see what this is. And it is Dwight. I figured it was Dwight because of the glasses. As Belschnickel from season 9, which may explain why you don't recognize it. Yep, that would be it. So Sarah says her brother lives in Payson. I was through Payson a lot. Not when I lived in Arizona, but when I delivered RVs around the country, I used to travel uh, through Payson, Flagstaff, all those areas. Actually, cutting down from the north, heading south, usually into like Phoenix or Mesa when I would deliver out there. Alrighty, so let's jump on into the news because arriving in early 2023 is Cheese Master from Iello. Here's the skinny. The kitchen is calm, too calm. All of a sudden, the chaos begins. As bits of cheese fall off the table, mice scurry in to snatch them up. The cat, who is patiently waiting for this moment, extends their claws and leaps onto the rodents. But they didn't notice the dog, who suddenly appears with their mouth wide open. This chaotic crowd chases and squabbles with each other all around the room until the infuriated innkeeper bangs on a pot to disperse the would-be thieves. After all that hubbub, can you remember how much cheese there actually was? In Cheese Master, players are rolling dice and need to be as fast as possible to figure out how many cheese, I think it would be how much cheese, is left on the floor. Each die will show animal faces or cheese pieces and create a funny interaction that you will need to understand before your opponents. There are 4 cheeses, but 2 mice eating cheese. There's 1 cat chasing a mouse, but before they do so, the dog is making the cat run away. So, how many pieces of cheese are left? Be quick, as the slowest of players will not even be able to take a guess. Gotta be honest, Excel sheet information localization is not well done at all. I'm actually throwing in words that, like in where it says a mouse, it says a mice. Like, well, no, it's be a mouse. Mice is plural. So I forgive him. Come on, Iello's a French company. Cheese Master is for 2 to 8 players, ages 8 and up. Plays around 10 to 20 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $15.99 when it arrives in February. Should be fun for the kids. You know, chucking dice. Kids like to throw dice around. You know how those. Stray Kismet says, these mountains have protected us for years. Just got to sweep away the sky sometimes. Flaming Heron's with us in chat. Good to see you, Flaming Heron. So we've got a couple of our chat moderators hanging out with us tonight, and Sarah D and Flaming Heron. I wouldn't be shocked if Mr. Eddie T is bouncing around as well. On to our next news piece. Arriving in Q2 of next year is Valbara. Here's the scoop from Hachette Board Games and Studio H Games. Each player plays as a clan leader and has to secretly and wisely play a card from their hand representing a member of their tribe to try to take over some territories. Strategy and timing will be crucial for scoring. The player that scores the most points after 9 rounds wins the game. Subcontinent of Valbara, Neolithic era. Your tribe sets out to explore uncharted lands in order to establish sedentary villages. Use the various talents of your tribe to optimize your development, expand your territory, and enforce your hegemony. I want to enforce my hegemony. All players have the same deck of 12 cards representing the members of their tribe. Each turn, players choose 1 card secretly. In the order of initiative of the revealed characters, players will be able to activate their powers and take over 1 of the available territories. Each type of territory has its own way of scoring points. Collection, pair, diversity, risk. Depending between playing the best powers and high initiatives at the most opportune moments will be difficult. After 9 rounds, the player with the most points wins. and unites the tribes of the continent under their banner. Barbara is for 2 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays around 20 minutes. And I have to point out, I do not have an MSRP yet. Wish I did. I am going to take a stab in the dark because I did see this is available in Europe. So I'm taking a guess. You're probably looking somewhere in the ballpark of $19.99. Thereabouts is what I would think is going to be the MSRP. Jen from Taiwan and Christopher Rush are with us in chat. Christopher says they don't want to miss the new Jackals release. We already looked at it. We did a switcheroo today. We did the first look, and now we're doing the news, and then I'm wrapping up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's talk about some role-playing game news because Blades in the Dark is once again featured by Bundle of Holding. And it's a money-saving deal, and I've got the deets. Round up your crew, scoundrel, because we've resurrected our December 2020 Blades in the Dark bundle featuring, you guessed it, the Blades in the Dark tabletop fantasy role-playing game from 1-7 Design Studio, along with many Forged in the Dark standalone spin-off games based on the Forged system reference document. Strongly funded in a March 2015 Kickstarter campaign, Blades is one of the most acclaimed and influential RPGs of the past decade. In the night-shrouded city of Duskvol, aka Duskwall, your crew of scoundrels pulls heists and settles scores to rise through the underworld hierarchy. There are chases, bloody skirmishes, occult mysteries, dangerous bargains, and riches to be had if you're bold enough to seize them. Blades designer John Harper fine-tunes the Apocalypse Engine system, adding rules for clocks, stress, and devil's bargains that ensure fast play and suspenseful choices. This comprehensive revival once again gives you everything you need for a complete campaign in Duskbolt, or the Weird West, cyberpunk dystopia, post-apocalyptic wasteland, or the fringes of space. For just $12.95, you get all 4 titles in this revived offers core collection, which has a retail value of $44, has DRM-free PDFs, including the complete Blades in the Dark core rulebook, along with the Duskwall heist deck, the incredibly detailed Duskball street maps, and the Alone in the Dark solo rules that let you use the Blades rulebook for your own solitary heists. And if you pay more than this revived offer's current threshold price of $26.81, you'll level up and also get this revival's entire settings collection with 5 more standalone games worth an additional $77, including Band of Blades, Scum and Villainy, Hack the Planet, A Fistful of Darkness, and Glow in the Dark. These savings will run through December 28th, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the Deanna Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. Not going to say anything about that again. You know how I feel about this. I'm not knocking the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. It's just not to me, it's not a charity. You know, that's just how I look at it. I got to say, I have never had an opportunity to check out Blades in the Dark or any of the Forged in the Dark games either. I should really take a peek at it one of these days. I really, really should. Actually, maybe now because it's a bundle of holding. I don't know. But then again, I don't do reviews based on PDFs because I only do video reviews these days. 245 Trioxin is joining us in chat. Good to see you. Haven't seen 245T in a while. No, like maybe a week. On to our next news piece. Available exclusively through Exalted Funeral here in the US is Duck Quest. Here's the latest from Star Hat Miniatures. Quack upon a time in the days of the quackin', between the age when At Last Isle was swallowed by the maelstrom and the rise of the ducks of Annis, there was a lot of really funky stuff going on in Aqualunia. And unto this, a party of adventurers destined to have a really good time. Only you can tell their saga. Only you can tell their tales of high adventure. Boy, that smacks of the opening to Conan the Barbarian, don't it? Welcome to Duck Quest, a tongue-in-beak fantasy role-playing game. This is the Quack Starter Edition, which was made with help from backers of the Star Hat Miniatures for Duck Quest Fantasy Role-Playing Games Kickstarter, which I do believe was for miniatures. It was not to fund a role-playing game. This was kind of an add-on. Duck Quest is a role-playing game with an unapologetic humorous bent. There will be absurd flights of fantasy, fleeting moments of lucidity, and far too many foul puns. This is a game of light and duck. It features quacktastic character generation, quack stories to web out your characters, a primer on miniatures combat, spells, monsters, adventure generation, a fold-out hexed and unhexed map of Aqualunia. The 64-page saddle-stitched book with PDF is available, once again, exclusively at Exalted Funeral for $25. I thought this looked kind of funny. I was like, you know me, I like to throw a little light on companies that wouldn't normally be getting it. So I thought this looked kind of funny. And who was it? Oh, Kevin just said taking the best part of RuneQuest and turning it up to 11. Yes, the ducks. Flaming Aaron says, not enough duck RPGs. I know. Lord Cost 2000 is in chat with us. Welcome aboard. So I always joke about RuneQuest. When I first encountered RuneQuest, which would have been, I believe, 1980, because I actually had RuneQuest before I went to high school. So I think, if I remember right, I picked it up the summer between 8th grade and my freshman year in high school. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Oh, this is pretty. And then it was like, ducks. What? Wait, anthropomorphic ducks? Of course, at that point in time, I didn't know what the word anthropomorphic was. But I was still like, okay, this is kind of bizarre. And funny enough, I know there are a lot of people out there who love that race in RuneQuest. So there you have it. Anyway, once again, this is Duck Quest from Star Hat Miniatures and exclusively through Exalted Funeral. Final news piece of the night. Pre-orders have begun for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Era of the Beast from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. I've got the dope. Behold the Era of the Beast. The mortal realms quake as Kragnos, the end of empires, escapes his century-long imprisonment and rampages across the realms. Era of the Beast offers players and GMs a chance to follow the ongoing narrative of the Age of Sigmar universe and brings the timeline forward to the Era of the Beast and the emergence of Kragnos, the end of empires. This book recounts the events of the Broken Realm saga and updates the lore of major cities and the status of the gods of the realms. Era of the Beast details the lands of Thrandia. I'm sorry, I take that back. Thandia, there is no R, allowing players to adventure in Gur, the realm of beasts, and includes new archetypes to add to your soulbound game. Lastly, from the swamps of the realms come the terrifying cruel boys, twisted, swamp dwelling orcs who slink from the mire to cut their enemies' throats. The book includes a complete retelling of the Broken Realm saga, advice on playing and running games during the era of the beast, and how the emergence of a new god and the rise of a goddess have affected your character. Detailed information on Gur, the realm of beasts, gives players a whole new realm to explore. 10 new archetypes to play, including the Hurricane Windchanger of the Limited Realm Lords, the Knight Relictor of the Stormcast Eternals, and the Mulasai and Canary of the Daughters of Cain. What does this roll right off the tongue? There's also a new species complete with their own archetype, the Dragoneth, bitter enemies of Kragnos. There's also over a dozen new stat blocks for the Cruel Boys to give GMs a deadly new foe to unleash on their players. Right now, you can pre-order the 142-page hardcover for $39.99. I do believe that it is probably going to release in Q3 of next year, but the PDF is available right now. So if you pre-order, you will get the PDF right now. Or if you want to just score the PDF alone, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. I know a lot of folks out there who enjoy Soulbound will be very pleased to know that we have a new supplement, and it is advancing the timeline to stay in lockstep, I guess, with what's going on with the miniatures game, Age of Sigmar. I do believe. So sweet. So once again, this is a pre-order for the hardcover, but the PDF is out right now. And it, I believe, is, last I looked, is the #1 selling PDF over at DriveThruRPG. Dante Viper Brandolini is with us. Welcome aboard. Wishing all of us a Merry early Christmas. Happy holidays to you as well. Flaming Heron says, really got into Soulbound from a past humble bundle, but yet to find a group who wants to play it. Sammy has tackled quite a few of the Soulbound releases for review, and it was pretty funny because when I first asked her to take on this system, she was sort of, it's Warhammer, really not my thing. I said, well, check out a couple of these PDFs. All of a sudden, it was like, wow, this is really good. So, like, there you go. Come on, it's Cubicle 7. Not Games Workshop. It's Games Workshop license, but it's our friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. That is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. All those nickels, dimes, and quarters, and I am serious, sometimes it's just nickels, but all the rest really add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always swing on over to paypal.me/gaminggang and making a small donation. And thankfully, there are folks out there who use our banner ads and or stop by paypal.me, and it is certainly appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Yes. All right. Like I said, It has been just a long day. I'm like really tired. It's like I think this is the most tired I have ever been doing a show. That's why to me at least, it just the show doesn't feel like it's flowing. I feel like I'm a step behind on everything so far. So, yikes. No, it's just, regular old diet soda, diet right as usual with a bunch of rum in it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, so we're going to jump on in and take a first look at Jackals, Travelers on the War Road in just a few moments. But got a couple of things I want to tackle first. You may recall that I shared how you could win a copy of the Blade Runner, the role-playing game, core rulebook in PDF. So today I'm announcing the winner. That's right. I made it pretty easy too. And most of you probably did not realize that only people who have been watching the show know about the contest. I have not mentioned the contest on any other videos, social media, anything like that. Only here on the Dispatch. So the winner of the core rulebook is UP12. So UP12, do me a favor, send me an email at jeffmcaleer@thegaminggang.com and make sure it's from the email address that is associated with your YouTube account. And I will get you your core rulebook. Now, remember, I was sharing a first look at Awesome Seasons of Mystery on last night's show. I told you how you can win a copy of that in PDF. I will be revealing the winner on tomorrow's live show. So there is that. Other thing I want to mention is, and I kind of touched on this previously, and of course, I did share the announcement that we're going to skew heavily, or I should say, heavier into role playing games than we had on the Gaming Gang in the past. But I also pointed out, if you look at like the last month or two, this is about what you'll be able to expect. That we'll probably look at 3, maybe 4 board games in a month on the show. Rest of the time should be role playing games. Hopefully, I'll have enough content to share with you, enough items to share with you. So I also pointed out that I have 4 new series that are going to roll out as well. The first is actually going to air tonight. So you'll be able to catch that video tonight after the stream. So it is up. It is on YouTube. It was processing, which for some reason, YouTube has been taking a lot longer to process videos lately. But it will be up. So check it out. I'm not going to reveal what it is yet. So if you happen to be hanging around and you get your notification saying, oh, hey, there's a new video on the Gaming Gang channel, take a peek and tell me what you think. I will reveal all the shows tomorrow. So I will talk about them on tomorrow's show so you know what to look forward to starting in the new year. And of course, tomorrow is also going to be my last live stream of 2022. Doesn't mean it's my last video for the year, because I've got more stuff coming out, but it is the last live show of the year. So if you can make it, by all means, please do. I don't know, might have an appearance by Santa Claus. I I don't know, maybe. Maybe not, but maybe. All right, we're going to jump on into Travelers on the War Road in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
This Christmas, give the gift of learning and dreaming with the learning tools from Texas Instruments. Data Man, with exciting math games and activities to open young minds to the wonder of numbers. And for high school students, the TI-30 helps them understand how math can build the beginning of a dream. The TI-30 and Data Man, in the tradition of the little professor from Texas Instruments, innovators in personal electronics.
My favorite heroes are Spider-Man and my Uncle Fred. My favorite heroes are Wonder Woman and my mama. My favorite heroes are the Hulk and Great Aunt Molly.
Underoos. They even come out heroes against warm water and detergents.
Batgirl and my daddy.
Be a Christmas morning hero. Give Underoos the gift that's fun to give.
Superman and my dynamite mother.
You want a can of Wilkins coffee?
No, give me a bottle of ginger ale.
Okay. What do you would have liked the Wilkins?
Excitement, fun, a thumping good time. That's what you're bound to have when we roll out the carpet with sparkling, star-studded screen entertainment for the wonderful new year ahead. So make plans to make tracks to our gala glorious New Year's Eve midnight show, Monday, December 31st.
So I found it interesting with the Underoos commercial because they were featuring both Marvel and DC characters. And you know damn well you would not see something like that these days. That is certainly a product of the 1970s. And my God, Wontkins got blasted in the head with that bottle. It was like, holy shit. Like, I think that's the most violent of the Wilkins and Wontkins that I've ever seen. I really do. I mean, and we're talking about, we've seen Wontkins get tossed out of planes. When Aaron says Wilkins is awfully violent. Well, the funny thing is, when Jim Henson started doing those commercials, violence was funny, you know? And that's why you see so many of the Wilkins coffee ads have violence in it because, you know, it was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Nowadays, it's just, jeez, still funny though. All righty then. So tonight, I am going to be diving in to take a first look at Jackals, Travelers on the War Road from Osprey Games. It's written by John Matthew DeFoge with artwork provided by John McCambridge and Guilherme Ducos. The 144-page hardcover arrives in stores next week. It's going to carry an MSRP of $25. Or you can grab the PDF right now at DriveThruRPG for $17.50. That said, let's swing on over to the other camera and we will take a peek at Travelers on the War Road. As I had mentioned earlier on, I'm very happy to see that Osprey Games continues to release material for this role playing game because they haven't done that a lot with the various games that they've released. Now, Osprey supports their skirmish level miniatures games quite a bit. So we have seen a lot of stuff for Frostgrave, Stargrave. There's some other, like the Lion Rampant system has gotten a few releases. Role playing games, not so much. But if memory serves me correctly, this is actually the fourth supplement. Well, I should say it's the third supplement. It's the fourth release in the Jackals line. So let's take a look at the back here. Jackals Travelers on the War Road is a supplement exploring the regions of the Zarahets and the cultures established in Jackals. It expands the lore for each of the four cultures introduced in the core book: Lothai, Gurwa, Melkoni, and Troj. Yeah, okay. There you go. That is the official pronunciation. I hope you understand that. Describing their various tribes, clans, and city-states, their beliefs, strongholds, and day-to-day lives, adding more nuance and depth to the world and giving players more ways to personalize their characters. New rights, virtues, and talents provide further customization options, while adventure hooks scattered throughout the book hint at new menaces to be battled, new challenges to be overcome, and new glories to be won. All right, let's jump on in. If you're not familiar with Jackals, it is what I like to refer to as a sand and sandals sort of role-playing game. It is in, at least in my opinion, vibe-wise, a similar vein as RuneQuest. So both are pretty much Bronze Age technology, although in RuneQuest there's far more magic, there's far more deities, there's far more fantasy elements than Jackals. Now, Jackals has monsters and magic and so forth, but it's, at least in my opinion, setting-wise, it is a little more steeped in history, even though it is a fantasy role-playing game. So, looks like our first chapter here, we are going to dive on in and take a look at some of the cultures. So we've got of the Luathai and Adan Shumar. That is chapter 2. Chapter 1 was just an introduction. So I should point out that the fine folks over at Osprey Games did provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you these days. It's important you know that. I know some people are like, I don't know why you always say that, Jeff. There's a reason why I say that. Because if I tell you something's good, I'm telling you it's good because I feel it's good. Not that somebody paid me to tell you something was good. Christopher Rush points out there are no duck people in Jackals. No, you can pick up a copy of Duck Quest, though, if you'd like. If you need more ducks in your role playing, you certainly, if you want more than RuneQuest, then definitely go pick yourself up Duck Quest. So we have a day in the life of the Luathi. Most begin the day at dawn with morning prayers to Alwain as his chariot mounts the sky. These may take place in the home, at a local open-air altar, or within one of the temples in a major city. And then it's giving us some of their prayers, or a common prayer, different holy festivals. Now, there was a campaign that had been released for Jackals if memory serves, it's the only adventure book that's been released for Jackals. I think Christopher is a Jackals fan out there. So maybe Christopher can chime in. But off the top of my head, I thought there was another adventure supplement that had, well, I shouldn't say adventure supplement, a supplement that had additional options, and I thought it had an adventure in it. And then we did have the full adventure campaign, which, like, I think it's a period of something like 8 years or something like that. Christopher says they're proud to live in an age in which role players have the luxury to select the amount of ducks present in their RPGs. Isn't it a beautiful thing? It is a beautiful thing. There you go. The Fall of the Children of the Fall of the Children of Bronze. And I reviewed it. It was pretty good. Off the top of my head, if I remember right, I think I gave it like a 7.5, 7. But I think that's the only one that's adventures. The other two, including Travelers on the War Road, are more options. And I know some people hate when I use the term fluff, but if it's not gameable material, a lot of times people refer to it as fluff, but it's not a bad thing. Right, so we've got some different tribes. It says, unlike the Melkoni and the Gurwa, who bear allegiance primarily to the city of their birth and the gods of their forefathers, the primary identity of the Loathi is grounded in their tribal affiliation and identity. And it's giving us some of the tribes. So these are the magic users, the ritualists, the Hashirs. We have some new rights. Solid artwork throughout, which is a given. I mean, this is Osprey Publishing, right? Osprey Games is a division of Osprey Publishing. And one thing you can always depend on is really good artwork. So now we have Chapter 3, Book 2. What? You're confusing me. Of the Gurwa and the Lands of the South. So they are the servants of the living god kings, which that would have a bit of a almost Egyptian feel to it. Although I don't recall. Maybe, yeah, if I remember right, yeah, they do. This is more of an Egyptian culture. So looks like we're getting kind of the same breakdown for each of these cultures here. Different festivals. Gurwan Jackals. I can understand why the Gurwa may decide they want to leave this life and turn to the open road. Their gods circumscribe the arc of their lives, almost restraining them. While the Gurwa enjoy the blessings of their deities, they must do so within the narrow circumference of their lot. And those of you who might be curious, the font is pretty small. That has been kind of a topic of discussion with the Osprey Games releases. In fact, when we were taking a look at Hard City, I even pointed out that the font in that book was a bit larger than we're used to seeing in the Osprey Games releases. But you can probably tell that the font is relatively small. So it is not the easiest to read. So, I mean, like, looking down at it from here. All right, so we've got some, these look like rituals. Oh, new rites. Kind of the same thing. It's magic. Then we have different virtues for the characters as well. Then we've got book 3 of the Treuge and the Eastern Sands. And these have, this culture is a bit more a Middle East flavor to it, if I remember correctly. So we get discussions about tribes, clans, day in their life, the holy festivals, their jackals. So jackals are, they're not necessarily mercenaries, but they're kind of swords for hire. I would maybe consider calling them freebooters. I said booters, not booty. Anyway, Coco Beast said, Jeff ain't no shill. That's right, I'm not. It's not, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I know, to be honest, if I was a shill, I would probably have far more viewers. But because then I'd sit there and be like, oh, I got to script all this out. And whereas you're, longtime viewers, none of this is scripted outside of me reading the sell sheet info for the news. Everything else is just off the cuff. So we get a bit of the background, some of the history regarding these cultures. We get some new magic as well. And virtues, which are like special abilities. And what kind of sets them apart. So we've got the Melkoni, colonists from the West and inheritors of philosophy. So this culture, as you can see, has a Greek influence to it. So once again, going through the details here. And it almost looks as if this is written from like a point of view as someone talking with members of the culture. Where did I just see this? I think it was that section about jackals. Here we go. Melkoni jackals. As I sat with Callisto listening to the tales of the cult of Sinan's resurgence here in the East, see the Cult of Sinan adventure available free from Osprey Games, and how she and the city were saved from those who would renew the lives of the daughters of Sinan, my thoughts again returned to jackals. Is there a more constant symbol of the Zaharets than the jackal? Loved and revived in equal... reviled. Like I said, font's kind of small. Loved and reviled in equal measure for the war they wage. It is clear to me why one of the blessed Melkan would take up the path of the jackal along the war road. We are a people governed by great passions. So we have cult heroes. There's the Melkan, the chthonic cults. Yes. No, it's not. It's not Lovecraftian. So Christopher says they love the amount of color that they give the armors in the art. Pretty nice. Like I said, artwork throughout always top notch with Osprey. And for some of the role-playing games, they've kind of recycled some artwork from other releases. That I don't believe is the case with Jackals. I believe this has all been new artwork. So we have new equipment, a couple of items, a quiver. We didn't have quivers before? Jeez. Okay. And a sling pouch. I'm discussing Phases of the Moon, new patrons. a new creature. We get a glossary and probably an index. Now we get a license, and that is it. So yes, this is open game license, in case you were curious. So there you go. That is a look inside Jackals, Travelers on the War Road from Osprey Games. Of course, I will have a review of this in the very near future. I do not have a PDF to give away, unfortunately. Sorry about that, everybody. I mentioned that when we took a look at Hard City as well. So, unfortunately, I don't have one because, of course, if I did, I would be coming up with some way for you to join in a contest to win it. All right. Once again, this is arriving in stores next week. Carries an MSRP of $25, or you can grab the PDF right now over at DriveThruRPG for $17.50. Do want to point out, the physical book does not include the PDF. Osprey Games does not include the PDF with the physical purchase. All right, so let's swing on back to the other camera. Once again, like I said, I am very pleased to see Osprey Games continuing to support this. So, sweet. I have my review of Gran Mecanismo coming soon. That will be up before the new year. So keep that in mind. I actually kind of peeked into Hard City over the last couple of nights. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I find it interesting that Osprey Games is releasing more storytelling sort of games. Because that's like Gran Mecanismo is a storytelling game. So people sometimes don't know the difference between like let's say like a traditional role-playing game and a storytelling game. Probably, in my opinion, the biggest difference is storytelling games mechanics are very simple. They're normally very easy to wrap your head around, and there is not a lot of crunch. So there is that. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Usually storytelling games are scene-based. You don't have a lot of randomness to storytelling games. You know, you're not normally rolling up on random tables for like random encounters or things like that. So Stray Kismet says, well done, sir. Well, thank you very much. So before we wrap up, Christopher pointed out they love the amount of color that the armors get in Jackals. So I wanted to mention, I don't know how many people out there actually know this, but like the plate mail for like, say, Dungeons and Dragons, that really didn't exist. People didn't wear that really. Now, I'm not saying that there wasn't plate, but not like you see like some fantasy movies and stuff like that. Kind of like, not really. Not like that. So, sweet. All right, pretty quick show tonight. We're at like an hour 5, and I'm like, oh, quick show. Well, I think the last two have been like an hour and a half. So tomorrow, I am going to wrap up my final live show of the year with a first look and unboxing of The Hill of Death from Tiny Battle Publishing, designed by my good buddy, Herman Lutman. So we're actually going to wrap up 2022 with a War Game Wednesday. Yes. So we are going to be taking a peek at this. Don't forget, I will also be giving away a copy of Lawson, Seasons of Mystery. So if you missed last night's show, check it out. I tell you how you can get into the running for that. Plus, I will also reveal the new series, 4 of them, that, well, one's premiering tonight. The other 3 will premiere in the new year. And we'll kind of discuss that as well. All righty. So Flaming Heron says, Wargame Wednesday, all Wargamers represent. Yeah, you know, it's funny. There are a few regulars that we used to have who'd pop in who we really haven't seen much of because it's been a while since I really tackled the war game, took a look at a war game, try to share wargaming news. There are some companies that I don't share news from. There are some board game companies, role-playing game companies I refuse to share news from too. So not just, you know, pointing out wargaming companies. There's really one that I don't talk about as far as wargaming. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. So we'll be taking a look at The Hill of Death on tomorrow's show. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding the bell. Will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Impossible Lands for the Pathfinder role-playing game from Paizo Inc. Yes, that'll be up tomorrow. Once it goes through all the processing on YouTube, with my luck, it'll probably be after tomorrow's live stream. But hey, you'll have that review to take a peek at. All right, all of you out there who hung out in chat, thank you very kindly. Extra experience points for you. If you were watching live, if you're a subscriber, take part in chat, hang out, have some fun. We're pretty friendly. Of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch this live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy life to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. I say that on every stream. I say that at the end of a vast majority of my videos. And I really mean it. It really does mean a lot to me that you hang out and you watch the shows, you watch the videos, because there are a lot of people out there you could be watching tackling the world of tabletop gaming. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. Of course, I will be back tomorrow. There might be a visit from Santa Claus or might not be a visit. I don't know. I think you're going to probably have to show up and find out. But of course, here's also hoping that each and every one of you always gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, that's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.